Welcome back to Suladan Plays Driftmoon Enchanted Edition. Last time we made it to the made it to the island the time before, but we explored the island and fixed an eyeball and a statue and found Robert the skeleton, and I don't know what Sarah's doing over there. There's Robert. Okay, I was about to say, where's Robert? Oh, why is it? Well, I was gonna come over here and talk to them, but they left me a note. Dear Suladan, if you find this letter, then don't worry. We haven't been taken by Ixal's troops, at least not yet. Brother Paul has asked us to come with him, but I don't know what he plans, but it sounds very secretive. Best of luck to you, William and Annie. Oh, that's right, there's a whole there's a place on the map I can go. Where there are 9 quests. Hello, faithful steed. No, I want to stay. Oh. This one isn't a fake skeleton, no. More Sarmeth. 15 drift long. Hello, Paul. We meet again, Suladan. And Robert I have met, of course, though it was hundreds of years ago. Are you ready to come with me? There will be no turning back once we start. Indeed, it is best to come well prepared. I believe our plans can wait. I'm gonna make an extra save point way over there. Yep, let's go. Excellent. The timing could not have been better. Yeah, so me waiting was excellent. Great! End of Chapter 4. Chapter 5. The Fortress. The Fortress of Solitude! No, wait, wrong fortress. After a long journey, you are finally met by the elusive monk, Paul the Librarian. He leads you through the nearby bushes to a clearing on which stands a dark, large cube. You've never seen anything like it on Driftmoon, and for some reason it sends chills running down your spine. Feels like something completely out of place, maybe even extra Driftmoonian. As Robert is about to open his mouth, Paul signals him to be silent, anxiously observing his surroundings as if waiting for something. Without speaking a word, Paul guides your group closer to the large black object, which is made of a material you can't even recognize. Fluorescent green lines run on each side of the otherwise dark cube, and as you approach the seamless exterior, a door suddenly opens on its side with a particular swooshing sound. Paul leads your group right through the small entryway. You couldn't find the time to visit Leo before you were... Ooh, wait, back. Why does it say all my quests are done if they ain't all done? That's not where I meant to go. Okay, is there any other quests I need to know about? Deliver Max's letter to Leo. Nobody saw none of that. Hello, Eeper. Bird thing. Strange bird thing. These people worship a bird. Fascinating. Where's Leo at again? You're not Leo. Abbot Fund! I'm going this way. Bye. Leo, is that you? Nope, that's Wisdom. Leo surely isn't this guy. Nope, that's Sherman. It would be also helpful if I knew where Leo was at. Oh, Leo. Are you Leo? Leo! I found a letter to you. Do you have a brother named Max? Max? I do. Have you met him? How is he? Oh, his life as a pirate must be so much more exciting than mine. He's always telling me about the gold and the open seas, and the women too, I guess. Leo gazes at the distance with a longing look. Sometimes I wonder if I should have become a pirate. Your brother's dead, Leo. Don't be a pirate. You told Leo not to take up piracy. Leo reads the letter carefully. Dead? Poor Max, that's awful. He was my only big brother. Leo's head falls between his shoulders and he lifts his hand above his eyes. Then he looks up at you again. As dreadful as it is, I can't say I'm all that surprised. They do take software piracy pretty seriously around here. Software piracy? You know, copying softwares without permission, paperback books and the like. You should have seen the lynch mob just recently when one of them was discovered. I feel sorry for them myself. I'm sure they just don't know what they were doing, but I think it's never too late to repent and mend your way. Oh, well played, Ville. Well played. Has Paul been in the monastery recently? What have I done? He was here, but he would have liked him to stay for longer. Don't you just hate it when people you care about never stay still, but just come and go all the time? I'm sure I don't know anyone like that at all. Yes, that was a very awkward silence. Paul says he's expecting some sort of an attack on the monastery at some point in the near future. I think he's just trying to attack the fortress of the enemy himself when Ixal's forces are focused here. Actually, I think he mentioned he'd send for you to join him. Yeah, that's what he said. Well, have you seen any trace of Ixal or his troops around here? Boy, have we. Well, not firsthand, but there's been so many stories from people all around, and they're not stories suitable for children, I tell you. Pretty horrible stuff. Whole families turning to statues and the like. Sometimes I just feel like grabbing a sword and hunting him down myself. Then I come to my senses and realize I would be plain stupid. I can do more here praying and helping the people who need us. Thanks for your help. If it wasn't for you, the monastery would still be run by that fake, and I'd be wasting away in the penitentiary. Indeed. Also, it amuses me that there's not, like, more books in the library. There's lots of, I don't know. Wait. How do I get in there? What the? Okay. On Stolen Time, Origin of Symmetry, Witches Abroad, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I'm confused. Huh. Why is this bookshelf movable? I don't understand this. This game is strange sometimes. Okay, anyway, that's enough of that. We're gonna go back over here. Things to do. Got all that done. No. That's a friendly snatcher, and he can stay friendly. Okay, now we're safe. Actually, let me look around here, because apparently there's a silver feather. And a splinter tree, and all this stuff that would have just been left unlooted had Paul taken us with him. 5 poisonous arrows. Why are there just poisonous arrows lying around? These seem like really good questions. Splinter tree. I'm just gonna ignore Paul and go ourselves. Nope, that is not gonna work. Alas, it does not work that way. Well, we got a silver feather, so I guess that's nice. Yep, let's go. Come on. We've seen this part already. I wonder if all the quests in the game, like if you just didn't do any side quests, if they would just all spam pop up when you go. Safe to talk now. The walls are completely soundproof. Thank the Maker you're here. Fecal saw you approaching the crossing of Sarmeth, and I was in a real hurry to catch you before Ixal's troops spotted you. Paul gestures around him. What do you think? It was quite an ordeal obtaining this Morse cube, but with the help of the small group of Rakan rebels, we finally managed it. Don't tell the Panther you're working for the Rakan! Oops. Why do we have to get inside this creepy thing? Weren't we supposed to go inside of the impenetrable fortress of Sarmeth? That's right, and that's where we shall go. Paul looks quite pleased with himself. You see, this Morse cube will enable us to sneak through the infamous gates of Sarmeth unnoticed. It's some kind of an unfinished war machine that Ixal is building. They're transporting it inside the castle right now, and we're hitching a ride. Won't they notice a group of people hiding inside the cube? Not as long as we keep the doors closed. They wouldn't dare inspect Ixal's prized war machine. Our Rakan friends have just managed to persuade the soldiers transporting the Morse cube that they deserved a little break. Hope they'll keep out of the way long enough. You mentioned help from the Rakan. Who are they? As you may have noticed, most of the Rakan have joined forces with Ixal, that murderous monster, but there are still some among them who oppose the new violent regime. The Rakan weren't always like this, murderous and power-hungry. The rebels don't believe Ixal's lies about delivering the Rakan a life of immeasurable happiness and riches. That's what Ixal's been feeding the new Rakan leaders. And what do we do once we get in? Paul looks solemn. Once this Morse cube is safely inside the fort, we rush out to fight. I'll create a diversion to lure out the guards from inside the fort. There's a passageway that's easy to defend, and we can hold out for hours if we need to. Under the cover of the diversion, you and Robert will be able to go inside. Now remember, your main priority should be to find a way to purify the gems of their evil taint. No one but your father knows a way to do this, and I believe that is precisely the reason Winston was captured. Ixal must have wanted to learn everything your father has found out about the gems. We have to free your father to get any further in our plans. Fortunately, we know Winston's being held here in Sarmeth. Our spy Saria has seen him being dragged here. She says that while your father was not unharmed, he was still well enough to shout curses at his captors. But we have no soldiers. Indeed, I couldn't conquer the enemy alone even if I tried. I can't fight, frail and old as I am, but I'll do my best to heal our fighters should any of them be injured. We'll soon see how many will come. It was very difficult finding volunteers for a mission like this, but I managed to locate a few kind souls willing to fight for their freedom. And maybe Captain Catdog and Her Majesty the Queen Velvet can help us off the Racon warriors. Before either of them has a chance to reply, the cube's small door opens and all kinds of people and creatures start pouring in. They look startlingly familiar. Oh dear. The Bogeyman, Dandy, Charlie the Wombat, Fred the Piper, Saria, and a random night wolf, Tooth, Birdie, William, Annie, Clegg, Arabella. Oh, Tooth, don't step on the ants. Come on, friends, I have an earache. We're moving! We're taking the cube to the fortress. Hello, Arabella. Master ordered me to fight, and I will gladly. Arabella the Degu runs around wagging her tail frantically. Yeah, have fun with that. Arabella continues her frantic running, panting excitedly. Where's the Night Wolf? I want to go talk to the Night Wolf. Hello, Night Wolf. A huge wolf stands in front of you, wagging his tail. He doesn't look like any wolf you've seen before, but since he's here, he must be joining the fight against Ixal. I thought it was going to be the mother Night Wolf that was off guarding her petrified pup. Maybe this is the dad. A strand of hair stuck where it should be. Why'd you decide? Don't you growl at me. Yep, I was right. It is that one. I trust Belinda's okay and still guarding her pup. Belinda? He howls. From a distance, you notice poor Fred the Piper with his superhuman hearing flinching in pain, quickly raising his hands to his ears. There are drawbacks to being a superhero, it seems. Thanks for joining the team. Why'd you decide to help us? Belinda. The wolf sniffs at you with his dark gray nose and wags his tail. The wolf must have been sent by Belinda, the mother wolf from your home village whose pup had been petrified. You're not too familiar with human language, are you? Belinda. The wolf scratches his ear with his large back paw. Good luck in the battle. Where's the Bogeyman? I want to pester him. Have you forgotten the Bogeyman? You haven't brushed your teeth. You've been a very naughty boy. The hideous form of the Boogeyman towers over you. I'm just kidding. I'm here to help stop Ixal from turning innocent people into terrible monsters like myself. Have you found out how you became the Boogeyman? I did not think I would ever say this to you, but you were right. You were right. I have King Ixal to thank for my long years as an outcast and a monster. There's a troubled look in his face. He's unable to hide the pain that surfaces with the memories. I was his test subject when he was forging that horrific pendant. I remember it now, some parts much more vividly than I care to, but I care not to discuss it further. What'll happen if his magic is undone? I don't know. Maybe I'll die. I don't care. After my recent adventures, I'm no longer scared of death. But I won't let Ixal do this to anybody else. Oh yes, we must make sure he won't do this again, not to a single soul. Even though the Bogeyman is on your side now, talking to him still feels quite intimidating you. How have people treated you? I have to ask. Oh, they just run away mostly. It's a really difficult job getting them to stay long enough for me to explain myself and apologize for all those frights I've given them during their childhoods. But I try anyway. I'm getting so tired of being a horrible monster. The Boogeyman sighs, looking exhausted. Eventually my travels led me here, the place where it all started. In a way, it's been the best journey of my life. What's happened to you then? As the monstrous figure turns to you and looks at you solemnly, there's a new, more serene look in his bright green eyes. I've been thinking that it's never too late to turn back. You might want to think about that too before going to the castle. I'm not sure of your chances. And what do you mean? You can't conquer a monster like Ixal with the strength of a man. But perhaps there is some hope for you. I feel someone is watching over you. Good luck. Hey, Velvet. Finally a good fight. I will miss you, my loyal servant. The others don't know much about fighting, but I, for one, know we don't stand much of a chance. There's too few panthers here and too many weak humans. Does that mean you're afraid? Me? A queen is never afraid. Let this be such an end as to be worthy of remembering. And now I must prepare for the fight. Velvet starts cleaning her fur coat industriously. Wouldn't it be more useful to sharpen her claws? Hey, Tooth.
5th Ant Legion reporting. Ants, attention.
The ants scurry around Tooth in random patterns.
The training isn't going too well, I'm afraid. But they certainly know how to fight. And they can lift heavy weights compared to their body weight. Although at total, that's only one tiny rock at this point. Good thing they're also remarkably persistent.
Oh, so you've brought your ants here to fight against Ixal?
You have no idea how angry they are. Ixal's troops have been intentionally stepping on them and breaking nest after nest.
Tooth turns to his ants.
Left turn. Oh no, one of them is escaping.
Tooth quickly scurries after the ant. I like Tooth. Brave deeds await, good Sir Knight. We shall soon see how Bertie serves the good people of Driftmoon. Nice to see you here, Bertie. Don't tell anyone. I'm here to impress my wife. She thinks it's very manly to do this sort of thing. My lips are sealed, Bertie. Brave of you to come. Brave deeds... No, I've already said that. May your fight bring honor to you and your family, Bertie. Indeed it shall! Bertie looks boastful, then raises his hand on his mouth and mumbles softly his whisper. I sure hope I'll walk away with both my honor and my life. Hey, Charlie. Oi, mate. Remember me, Charlie the Wombat? I quit digging and got this far already. I'm here to see the Wizard of Wineland. Aren't you supposed to fight with Ixal's troops? Yeah, that's the Wizard of Wineland. I'm here to pay him a little visit. Charlie grins menacingly and starts sharpening his weapons. It's very strange. Fred the Piper is still holding the super powerful seashell hearing aid. He winces as you approach. Please don't breathe so heavily, just a bit quieter. He holds his finger to his mouth, indicating silence, and whispers, Great to see you again. It came as soon as I heard you'd be needing help. And you can believe me, I heard it a bit sooner than most others. What have you been up to? This and that, usual superhero business. I've been rescuing cats from trees, ants from ponds, flies from spiderwebs, some people as well, but unfortunately I've been too late a few times. There have only been stone statues left. At first I thought this was the attack of a mad sculptor, you know, a sculptor who kidnapped his models, until I heard of this Ixal. I know you can finish him off. With my superhero hearing, I've heard numerous people talking about your about your great deeds through Driftmoon. Saria. Oh, you. Oh, great. You showed up. Hey, you, Mr. T. I found your father. Saw Ixal's troops take him inside the castle. He didn't look too happy, but he's still... Oh, that's right. You ran off to go spy on the castle. I forgot about that. You saw my father? Well, he was walking at least, but I know this may not, make you too happy, but he looked pretty gray to me. Alright, to be honest, he looked like a wreck. They've been seriously torturing him, I think. But I guess that's still better than being turned to a statue. Have you seen Word? No, Mr. T, I don't know where Word is. Sarah looks sad, but suddenly perks up. You have to go inside and save him, though. Please, will you find Word? Sure. The words are lost. She's already talking to somebody else. William and Annie. Hi, Suladan. Nice to meet you. See you in good shape after your adventures in Eione. Are you sure your leg is up to this? I wouldn't miss this battle for the world. Who knows? If we didn't fight, there might be no world for us to come back to. William takes a worried glance at his wife. Annie insisted on joining the battle as well, even though I tried to make her stay somewhere safer, but I have to admit she's good at the bow, a real talent. William seems to remember something and turns to his wife. Annie, you've got your bow, right? She nods to him with a serious look on his face. Did you hear of our adventures on the island of Eione? Yeah, we were really glad to hear your trip to Eione went well, and that ancient brother of yours seems like a nice fellow, even though seeing him was a bit of a shock. I'm a bit jealous you get to see the remains of the ancient civilization of Eleanor. That's what your brother told me. You, brother? Did you get any awesome weapons or armor done before you left? Well, we received word from Brother Paul soon after you'd left. Said we needed to swiftly prepare, and unfortunately I only had a chance to fix my sword and have a quick look at Annie's bow. What are you going to do after all this? Always dreamed of becoming as talented as the great smiths of the Forgotten Age, but I must admit I'm starting to wonder how they ever could have forged objects that are as powerful as history claims. They must have had some magical metal to forge it from, and maybe even a magical forge? Well, what did they make? Excuse me. Well, the legend says the great smiths originally forged the legendary weapons passed on to Drakeen the hero, the weapons he used to defend the castle of Alandra more than 1,000 years ago. The indestructible sword that cut through stone, the arrows that could fly through 20 skeleton warriors before stopping, that sort of thing, you know? William scratches his chin and looks thoughtful. Now that I think about it, I wonder if they left out of the count those cases where the arrow flew right through the skeleton without even scratching the bones. Yeah, it went through 20 skeletons, alright. It hit the 20th one. Anyway, where was I now? Right, the legendary weapons. Well, as unfortunate as it is, Drakeen the hero's amazing weapons were lost centuries ago. Some believe they were stolen and Ixal used them to build some unholy weapon of his own, or that the legendary weapons vanished into thin air when they fell into evil hands, but I guess it's just a story and there's no telling what really happened. I will. Take care. Now don't die out there, alright? We are counting on you. I have no idea where that voice came from. Hey there, great to see you again and in one piece. I brought my faithful bow and arrow, see? So, you're a good archer? Oh, I used to practice a lot as a little girl. My grandmother made arrows, and my favorite hobby was testing how her different arrow types flew. Never shot any creatures, though, just targets, but I did win my fair share of prizes. Sure you want to join the fight, though? Oh, come on, I'm not a child, and I know it's dangerous. I also know I'll be just as useful in that battle as any man out there. Besides, since I think you desperately need me, I'm joining in no matter what you or William say. Sure. Is there anybody else I hadn't talked to? Dandy. Oh, hey, Suladan. Thanks for saving me from that pitiful existence as a puffer plant. Oh, I still shudder at the memory of those poisonous puffer fumes. Ah. How's your life treated you? Compared to the vegetative state you found me in, my life's been just fine and dandy since. And it's not always easy being a Gorn, with almost everyone expecting you to be walking around with a gleam of gold in your eyes. But I'm not used to it. But I'm used to it. Besides, I think it's enough that those I'm closest to know I'm not really like that at all. I much prefer walking around with the smell of roses in my nose, even though it often involves having a thorn or two. Don't stuff them up your nose, then! Dandy the gardener smiles at you warmly. He doesn't seem to be at all the way people describe Gorns. Even the volume of his voice is far from hurting your ears. So did you ever return to your gardens? I tried to go back, but the whole place was demolished and empty. I suspect the fake gardener who turned me into a puffer plant was really acting for Ixal, so they must have been after my patch of rare magical herbs. Ooh, I'll get that Ixal for messing up my garden. Just don't get turned back into a flower, okay? Oh, don't worry, my flowering days are over. Clegg. Hello, Suladan. The other monks are praying for us all and guarding the monastery. The abbot asked me to come here. Is Sarah well? She's my favorite niece. She is. She's working on some secret project. Good, she should be safer there. Clegg looks ahead with a tranquil look on his face. It'll be difficult, but you will succeed. Now please forgive me, I need to pray. Short-spoken as always, Clegg returns to his quiet contemplation. I have to talk to the captain. Aye, Paul is right. I'll stay here and join the fight with the others. Now that I've seen that horrible skeleton man isn't so horrible after all, I'm not afraid of anything. Hear that, you pompous pygmy piranha, you mindless Medusa of that loathsome Ixal. We'll beat you all. Good luck, Captain. I think I've talked to everybody. Oh, apparently I have. We've stopped, so we must pass through the main gates of Sarmeth. It's up to you now. When you're ready to lead the way out, we'll follow you. Remember, if you get hurt at any point in the battle, I can heal you. I have some questions. Oh my. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I keep clicking things. Did you know Eldar is dead now? Yeah, that's how it happens. I visited the tomb recently, but only signs of a great battle remained. It troubles me greatly. I don't know what kind of power could destroy a ghost as powerful as Eldar. Ixlar, Eldal, I don't know anymore. Where have you been all this time? I've been detained with other things. They were things that could not be ignored. A place I had to visit far away from here, and I've been praying for you constantly. It's my job, after all, as a monk. Now that I've come back, that's the most important thing. Do you know what Sarah has in mind? When we talked at Nomon, she locked herself in the workshop. Oh, she's probably working on whatever her whale friend told her about. More than that, I can't say. Moon whales are a mysterious and ancient race, and they're rarely in contact with humans. But I do know whatever they wanted Sarah to do must have been very important. You sure we should be taking these things in the castle? Oh, I know it's foolhardy, but it's the only way. We could try to hide them, but it would only be a matter of time before Ixal tracks them down. I've even contemplated dropping them into the lava like I read in a book once. But I'm afraid not even the lava of Sarmeth is hot enough to melt the gems, and Ixal has powerful magic that could certainly retrieve them from within the bowels of Driftmoon. No, the only way to save all the poor people Ixal has turned to stone or into undead monsters is to purify the pendant itself. And if we fail in purifying it, we'll have to attempt to destroy it again, if we can. Ixal's forge may be strong enough to melt the gems, but who knows how terrible a payment it will demand for such a task. To succeed in either of those, we need to take the gems in the castle. Our hope rests now in you finding your father. He will know how to purify the gems. Where were you 1,000 years ago? Oh yes, I was a small child when Ixal's force, that's where he was. We started moving to the outer rims of the old empire. It was a time of unimaginable terror. Every soldier we lost became an enemy in the ever-swelling ranks of the undead. When we fought them, we were fighting the dead remains of our own friends and family. It was beyond horrible. We held out the borders for years, but eventually the resistance broke down and most survivors retreated to Elandra. Those who couldn't make it to the castle of Elandra had to live underground in secret tunnels like Eldar's tomb and the crypts, wearing nothing but rags, being constantly afraid of the skeletal hordes that roamed the lands. My family was one of the fortunate ones who managed to make it to Elandra before the outer defenses fell. You wouldn't believe how thin and pale we all grew, our bones sticking through our skin. What I think was even worse was the great number of people who finally lost hope of better times. They were just waiting for the inevitable day when Ixal would enslave them all. Ah, what happened then? We held out in Elandra for many years. The walls were thick, but as the siege went on, there were fewer and fewer men to defend the gates. By the time I was already a young man brought up in dark times, but with strong conviction. By that time, I was already a young man brought up in dark times with a strong conviction to defend that which was good. Basically us. Paul sighs and strokes his beard. That's when we decided to attempt the impossible, to strike the heart of the enemy. It was a fool's attempt by two of us sneaking into the impenetrable fortress like that, but we had help. If it wasn't for Fiegel, we both would have died in the dreadful dungeons of Mor Sarmeth. Paul lowers his voice. I've debated whether I should mention this to you, but I'm afraid our quest in Mor Sarmeth today is even more vital than I've let you understand. This may be our last chance to defeat King Ixal. We must not fail. Why? If Ixal unleashes the power of the pendant, we may never get close to him or the pendant again. Ixal will not make the same mistakes again as he did 1,000 years ago. He'll have prepared for everything we could possibly think of. And it's only a matter of time till the whole of Driftmoon is enslaved under his reign of terror. But right now we have so much hope left. We have you, your brother, and you have that overly optimistic Firefly. Do you want him? I'll give him to you for 15 coins. What did you do with the pendant? Though we nearly lost our lives in the process, we managed to steal the pendant of resurrection from Ixal. When we took out the gems, much of Ixal's power was lost, and the battle was won. But try as we might, we couldn't leave a scratch on the gems. As soon as Ixal's power was gone, the one thing that might possibly be powerful enough to destroy the pendant, the terrible forge that he used to turn the pendant of life into the pendant of resurrection, instantly shut down. No kind of magic, no weapon, no kind of alchemy would harden the gems. We realized if they couldn't be destroyed, it would always be possible for the pendant to be reconstructed and for Ixal's dark reign to begin again. In the end, we decided to hide the gems. I would say fire them into space, but, you know, then he'd still find them. Then we'd have Driftmoon endgame. Anyway, I wish we'd found a way to destroy the gems back then. It would have been so much easier. But your father is a wise man. I strongly believe that before his kidnapping, he'd discovered a way to purify or at least destroy the gems. I don't know what it involves. Maybe being an alchemist, he thought of some kind of dangerous process involving the lava that flows here. Or it's possible he thought of a way to use Ixal's forge itself. Either way, we will have the answers when you find him. Can you give me a map? I wish I could, but if it was the same as before, but I'm sure I would remember many parts of it, but most of it was destroyed 1,000 years ago, and the rest of it was buried in lava. It's been rebuilt in secret starting from within, and we only noticed when the gates were built anew. I'm certain Ixal will have his unholy forge, but other than that, I have no idea what the castle looks like now. Who was the other guy that snuck in with you? Oh, it wasn't a man, but a woman. She was called Eve. Paul's voice quiets down as he seems to be gazing somewhere far away. And I loved her dearly. She was a woman you loved? Yes, but that was long ago. We lived a lengthy human life together, but as lovely as she was, she died a long, long time ago. As I thought I myself would say. Every single day I wake up missing Eve, but I never feel sad about loving her. I'll see her again once it's my time. Paul smiles dreamily, gently stroking his beard. How did you live for so long? Well, your brother Robert's still alive too, sort of, isn't he? But I do admit my long years are as much a mystery to myself as you. I look old now, but for some reason I've been aging very, very slowly ever since my friend and I visited the impenetrable fortress and met Fiegel. Must have something to do with that adventure, or Fiegel. As hard as I've thought about it, I've not been able to reach a conclusion. How'd you meet Fiegel? Now that's an interesting story. It all happened here in Mor Sarmeth, and I still remember it like yesterday. We just started our adventure inside the fortress when we found a magnificent bird locked in a golden cage and freed her. She flew off, and we were happy to see at least one soul saved by our dangerous trip. Around the very next corner was the thing we desperately hoped not to meet, Ixal's dreaded pet, the zombie Grotblutch. The enormous zombie Grotblutch was running at high speed towards us, the cavernous dungeon passage just wide enough for the huge creature. We ran as fast as we could, but in seconds it caught up with us and grabbed the back of my leg with its venomed fangs. And then Fiegel appeared. She flew right at the gigantic creature. The monster disappeared in a puff of smoke, and we never saw another glimpse of it. Paul shakes his head in disbelief. Thinking about it still leaves me in awe. That amazing bird Fiegel has been my loyal companion ever since. That bird really is worth more than her weight in gold. Not that I tend to measure the worth of things in gold, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. Maybe Fiegel could defeat Ixal. That would be convenient, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, I don't think it's possible for her. You see, I'm quite certain she's tried it before 1,000 years ago. That must be why we found her locked in Ixal's dungeons. I don't know what really happened. Maybe the Ixal's evil was somehow too much for Fiegel to handle alone. What was your plan again? I myself and most of our group must attack the castle entrance and create a diversion for you. We'll give them so much resistance at the main entrance that you, Fizz, and Robert can slip inside the fortress unnoticed. I've managed to persuade some of our old acquaintances to start working in the kitchen so you can sneak in through there. Once you get into the castle, you must try to find your father first. Then we'll follow his plan to purify the pendant and vanquish the threat of Ixal once and for all. So help me if I find Six Fingers in there in the kitchen. I'm gonna laugh. Okay, let's go. Excellent. Open the door and we'll be right behind you. Door! Oh, hi. You die. You die too. A Jumbo Bee. Hi. Why is the Jumbo Bee our friend? I'm gonna go over here. Come on, Robert. Pretty lava. Gate actually looks smaller than the cube. How did the cube fit through? Ah! Rakans! How dare you be Rakans! What would Zaya have to say about this? Oh, they did. Apparently nothing, they did. Oh my dear goodness. Well, I can't fit through. I want to help. Fine, I'll go to the side. Yep, there are Six Fingers. That's for Bill. Ooh, I'm Bill, the invincible undead skull, ancient and evil. If that's meant to intimidate me, it's not working too well. Come on, you're just a skull. You don't even have arms. Little rat. Don't you realize that true evil needs no arms? The powers of my mind are greater than the formidable Mount Marshmallow. That's just not doing it for me. What would a detached head like you ever do to a warrior like me? Bah! I don't talk to such feeble-minded individuals. My evil mastermind has much more important things to focus on. Begone! Remember your time. Sorry, I sometimes unintentionally blurt out insults, especially when I'm utterly terrified. I see you've come to see the truth about the evil ingeniousness of Bill the Undead Skull. You may live, human! Being such a great thinker, though, you must know everything. Of course I do. I'm the great Bill, King Ixal's right hand, am I not? There's no comparison for my evil intellectual superiority. Wow, you're so intelligent. You must be a real expert on King Ixal, right? I'm an expert on Ixal as well as everything else. Just try me. Does Ixal have any weaknesses? Bah! Nothing in this world can defeat him except for me. I could crush him like a bug, but I choose not to. Did Ixal make you? No, I made him. I made Ixal the notorious evil mastermind that he is. So you and Ixal go way back, I presume. Yes, I've known him from childhood. I taught him everything he knows. So if I asked Ixal about your friendship, he'd call you his best pal. No. You don't want to ask Ixal anything. That would be the end of you. It's the way my pal Ixal is. As evil as they get. You know where he's at? Well, I know everything, but I don't blabber to my sworn enemies, even if they are insignificant little humans. You have anything else you'd like to tell me? There's nothing Bill wants to tell you about, Ixal. Your fate is sealed. Well, let's talk about Bill for a change. Where did you come from, Bill? Bill is immortal. I've always been, or almost always. It sure feels like an eternity. Not that I need to tell you anything, you nosy human. Why don't you have a body? Oh, I don't need one. My superior brains are more than enough. Besides, I told you evil needs no arms, and that goes for any other limbs as well. No, enough of this nonsense, human. Bill needs not listen to such trash. Do you have any words of wisdom, Bill? What are you still doing here? Have you no survival instinct? What are you doing just sitting here, then? I happen to like this place. It's so evil. My wicked Rakan pals even jailed a little Jumbo Bee just for the fun of it. But I still wouldn't mind seeing the inside of the fortress. It's such a notoriously evil place. I think I'd fit right in. Bill sighs audibly. I would take you in if you'd let me. Goodbye then, Bill. The fortress? Aha! I thought you might be foolish enough to enter the castle. Bill seems to realize his chance has come. Now, little human, I, Bill the mighty demonic skull, command you to take me with you! You will take me inside the fortress! Sure, I have enough room for one evil talking skull named Bill. You pocket Bill the talking skull. A moment later, you start hearing laughter from your backpack. I've enslaved the human. Bill rules! He is actually in my backpack. Okay, so we freed the Jumbo Bee, presumably. Hello, Jumbo Bee. What is the Jumbo Bee doing? He's not trapped. Was he supposed to be inside there and he just glitched out? I don't know. Well, game. I don't know what you were doing. Pen of pain, all night takeaway. Through the bars, you see a skeleton behind the door wearing a black suit. He flashes you his golden 24-karat grin and whispers conspiratorially, "It's us, Suladan, Quan and Sherry from Eldar's tomb. You still remember us, don't you? Bet you didn't expect to see us here. We're undercover. Will you let me in? What's the secret password?" Nah, just yanking your chain. Come on in. We got a service entrance right into the heart of the fortress. Mud box. Celery. It's locked. Hi, Suladan. I hope Quan isn't trying to hawk his wares to you. Oh, and I've got a beef casserole with potatoes left over. Would you like some? This is the good stuff, not the muck we're serving the lizards. Yes. How's the work in the kitchen, by the way? Well, we've never actually seen the top guy, just a bunch of Rakan warriors. They always want more human flesh, but we've cleverly substituted it with mud and let all the prisoners that they've brought here walk away. I know the Rakan don't notice the difference. They just hiss and growl as always. I know their taste buds aren't much to brag about, but I'd like to think my explosive chili mix also has something to do with the success of our scam. You seen my father? Nope, hadn't seen anyone that would fit his description. Sorry. Goodbye. Before you go, there's something. I see you've been collecting all sorts of strange and useless things. I thought you might be interested. Would you like to have my old cooking pan? Yes! Great, there's just one problem. You see, the pan I'm talking about is, rather special. It's currently hiding in the special cellar with its spider friend. This is a bit embarrassing. Sherry leans towards you, lowering the volume of her voice to whisper. It was just a tiny little thing when I first gave it some leftover scraps, but you'll see. And I can't give the pan to you because I don't have it, because it's in the cellar with the spider. So you'd like me to help you find the pan in the cellar so you can give it to me? That's it, and I wouldn't mind if you got rid of the spider in the process. I'll just open the cellar for you. Yeah, we've got a Duke's Dear Freya situation going on here. Last time a little spider got left to its own devices. Called it. Just... no. 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 I don't think this is the spider we're looking for. Where was that thing hiding? Fake skeleton. Ah! Bagel! Save me! I'm being attacked by a pan! I'll make crunchy little bits out of you. This is not a happy pan. I'll show you how to whip and beat! Eggs. Oh, this is so engaging. I'll fry you! Cast iron pan. Wait a minute, how can a pan die? How can a pan cake? These are all valid questions, but... I warn you! I haven't been Oh good, I can mess with physics again. Hang on, I'm gonna save real quick. Basically, when you go up a hill, and then go back, your vertical axis has like really weird gravity. So if you go up a hill and back, you actually end up airborne for a bit. Well, hello, Robert. You're out here with me now, I see. In the void. Is there anything useful out here? I know there's not anything useful out here. Why would I think there's anything useful out here? I mean, I'm not even on the same... Well, now we've got to load the save. There seems to be really low gravity when it comes to this game. Like, if you go up and then back, you do this airborne bounce. And you can do it to kind of break things and end up on top of stuff, and it's very amusing. Also a frying pan. The rusty old cast iron pan looks far from intimidating, but according to Sherry's family legend, it's a weapon of remarkable power when used for a cause to its liking. Conveniently, the pan completely refused to cook food for Ixal's allies and seems to shake with anticipation every time it's wielded against them. Sherry? I found your pan, and there was a big spider in there. Great, consider the pan yours. I hope you'll put it to good use. I will. I leveled up. I need more strength. I maxed that out. Do I want to put points in the berserk? Sure, we'll do that. Also frying pan. There we go. And, as much as I would love to continue, I think I'm going to go 666 minutes. Oh dear. As much as I'd love to continue, I think I'm going to go ahead and pause here. Thank you for watching, and next time we'll enter Ixal's fortress. And I'm a bopping with a frying pan. See you next time.